Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. So, how are you today? So today, we are going to study about respiration happen in insect, fish, okay, and also in frogs, okay. And then once we're done, we are going to make a comparison between these three organism with human respiratory system. Okay, so I want to set up first. Okay, 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 guys. So the first one, we are going to focus on the insect. Okay, so here, as you can see, this is the structure of respiratory system in the insect. Okay, respiratory a breathing system in an insect is known as a tracheal system. Okay, tracheal system. So tracheal system consists of different thing. The first one is trachea. So if I make it bigger, okay. So this is trachea. Okay, and then we have spiracle. Okay, spiracle ni dia macam lubang lah. Okay, so this is spiracle. And then we also have air sac. Okay, we also have air sac. Okay, so this is also air sac. Okay, so if I make it bigger for this area, so you will see this thing. Okay, so this is spiracle. Okay, where there is a hole, okay, that will enable the oxygen get in and enable the carbon dioxide to get out. Okay, and this is trachea. Okay, trachea ni yang ni lah. Okay, and then if we look in detail, okay, so this trachea actually they will have a few branch. Okay, and this branch is called tracheole. Okay, and this tracheole will be connected to the body cell. Okay, will be connected to the body cell. So here we know that the body cell require oxygen, right? So the oxygen will go inside tracheal system through spiracle. From spiracle, it goes to trachea. From trachea, it go to tracheole. And the last destination is body cell, because we know that body cell is the one that require oxygen. So the body cell will produce carbon dioxide. So the body cell will produce carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide will go, okay, the first one, it will go to the tracheole, and then trachea, and then spiracle, and then to the atmosphere. So this is how it works. Okay, so let's study a little bit the structure. Okay, you see here, the trachea branch out, okay, to form a finer tube, okay, called tracheole. Ni lah yang tracheole ni. And then tracheole is a respiratory surface, and tracheole has a following characteristic that allow for efficient respiratory gases exchange. Gases exchange tu maksudnya pertukaran gas lah. Kita ambil oksigen, kita buang carbon dioxide. So what are the characteristic of tracheole that you should know? The first one is say that it has a large number of tracheole. So ada banyak tracheole lah kat sini. Okay, so the first one, the tracheole is present in, there are so many tracheole. Okay, why? To provide a large total surface area for gases exchange. So when we have so many tracheole, so it means that more gases exchange can happen. So it's a good thing, okay? So the next one is that tracheole wall is thin and moist. Why? So this can allow the oxygen gas to diffuse into the cell, while the carbon dioxide quickly diffuse out of the cell into tracheole. Okay, so when the tracheole wall is thin and moist, so this will make, okay, the gases exchange become faster and more efficient. Okay, the last point waktu yang kat sini cakap it also have air sac. Ni tak ada air sac kat sini. Okay, So there is also asset. Apa fungsi asset tu? Asset, okay, the function is to speed up the delivery of respiratory gas, which are oxygen and carbon dioxide, during active body movement. So kalau kita tengok kat sini, this is asset. So asset ni dalam ni ada udara. So what is the function is to push oxygen and carbon dioxide faster. So when we have asset, okay, this air inside the asset will push the oxygen to go to the tracheal faster. And then this asset also will push carbon dioxide to get out, okay, through spiracle faster. Okay, itu maksud dia. Okay guys, so that's all for insect respiratory structure and its adaptation. Now we go to how the breathing mechanism happen in the insect. Okay, kita pergi pada insect. Mana ni? Ni. Awak tengok ni. Okay, breathing mechanism of insect. Okay, so pertama sekali awak kena ingat balik lah what is the structure inside this. Okay, kita ada spiracle lah yang lubang tu. Kita ada trachea. Okay, kita ada, cikgu besarkan sikit lah. Kita ada spiracle, kita ada asset, kita ada trachea dan kita ada tracheal lah ni tracheal yang kecil ni. Okay, so at the same time I want to mention to you that, okay, yang ni pun asset, ini asset tau, bukan muscle. Ni asset, semua asset ni yang macam balloon-balloon ni. Okay, you have to know that surrounding, ni surrounding dekat sekeliling ni, surrounding the what we call tracheal system, okay, surrounding tracheal system there is a ni abdominal muscle. Maksudnya dekat sekeliling kat sini ada abdominal muscle. Okay, so why I emphasize the word abdominal muscle? Ni kita tengok ni. Okay, kita tengok dulu So this is inhalation, yang ni exhalation. Inhalation tu take oxygen. Exhalation release carbon dioxide. Okay. So when inhalation, okay, the abdominal muscle will relax. So abdominal muscle dekat sini during inhalation dia akan relax. So what will happen? This will reduce the air pressure in the trachea. Okay, so the first one, abdominal muscle dia relax. So when it relax, this create a lower pressure in the trachea. Okay, kenapa kita kena cerita pasal pressure air? Sebab we want to compare the air pressure inside the trachea and also outside the surrounding. So when the air pressure in the trachea is lower than outside, this will enable the oxygen to enter into the trachea through spiracle. Awak ingat lagi tak dulu cikgu pernah ajar the difference of pressure. So maksudnya kalau contoh oksigen nak masuk ke dalam trachea ni, we have to ensure that the air pressure inside the trachea lower than outside. So maksudnya air pressure dekat luar ni lebih besar lah. When the air pressure outside is higher than inside, so the pressure from outside will push the oxygen to get into the trachea through spiracle. Boleh faham? Tengok kumpulan exhalation. Okay, yang tadi during inhalation the abdominal muscle relax. Yang ni tukar je lah. The abdominal muscle, ni kat kawasan sini. Okay, will contract. So what will happen? So this will increase a higher air pressure. So when we have high pressure, so this higher okay. So sekali lagi when abdominal muscle contract, this will create a higher air pressure inside the trachea system. Higher pressure compared to the air pressure in the outside. Okay, so what will happen is that this higher air pressure will push carbon dioxide, force the air out of spiracle. Air tu refer kepada carbon dioxide lah. Okay, through what? Through the spiracle. Okay, boleh faham? Okay, let's continue a little bit. Okay guys, so let's continue. Okay. So the next one, we are going to study about okay, fish. Okay, about fish. Okay. Okay. So here, okay. So let's make it bigger. Okay, guys. So this is fish. So we know that fish will use gill, okay, in their respiratory system. So this is gill. Okay. So if I make it bigger, so this is how gill looks like. Okay. Okay, so gel, the whole thing here is called gel. Okay, and then we have so many, branch like this, and this is one single branch here is called gel filament. Okay, satu benda ni namanya gel filament. So we have so many gel filament here. Okay, so if I make it bigger, if one structure of gel filament I take out, okay, so if you see here there is a like jaring-jaring like this, right? So one jaring-jaring tu, ni nama dia, one single this one is called lamella. Okay, it's called lamella. Okay, and then bear in mind there is also gill arch. Gill arch ni they contain blood vessel. They contain blood vessel. Yang warna merah ni indicate that blood vessel that carry oxygen. Yang warna biru ni carry deoxygenated blood. Okay, boleh faham? Okay, so inside lamella there are so many blood capillary. Why? To allow gases exchange. Okay, so let's study a little bit. So tengok kat sini ni filament. Filament has many thin and flat projection called lamella. So maksudnya dekat filament ni dia ada banyak lamella. Yang thin dan juga flat. Large number of filament and lamella give a large total surface area for efficient gases exchange process. So right now, if you notice, we have so many gel filament and we have so many lamella. Why this is important? To allow more gases exchange. Okay. Lamella membrane is thin and supplied with many blood capillary for easy absorption and transport of oxygen, okay, and carbon dioxide. So if you see here, ni, yang direction warna biru ni, this is the flow of water. Kenapa water? Sebab inside water there is a oxygen. Okay, ikan kan dia ambil oksigen daripada air kan. So when the water flow, dia masuk dalam mulut, dia masuk dalam insang tu. So the water will pass through filament and then pass through lamella. So when it pass through lamella, lamella bagi oksigen. Lamella bagi oksigen pula cikgu ni. Okay, when the water pass through gel filament and then it pass through lamella. So yang ni direction of water lah ni. Ni awak tengok ni, ada 3 error ni. Okay, so when the water flow to the lamella, gases exchange will happen where the lamella will give carbon dioxide to the water and the water will give oxygen to the lamella. Dan dalam lamella ni ada apa? Ada blood capillary lah. Okay. Okay, now we are going to study in detail what actually happen in blood, in a fish. Okay. Awak tengok kat sini ya. Okay, before we want to study, I want to introduce to you a little introduction about fish fish structure. Okay, so this is fish. Tak tahu lah ikan apa, mungkin ikan kekek mak ilo-ilo kali. Okay, so this is a fish. Okay, so this is the mouth, mulut dia. Okay, ini mata lah, takkan awak ingat telinga ke apa ni, kita kelakar ya. Okay, so this is mouth. Okay, and then ni macam tulang pipi dia ni. Okey, tulang pipi dia ni kita namakan sebagai operculum. Ni ejaan dia macam ni. Operculum. Okey, operculum. Ni tulang pipi dia. Okay, I'm sure some of you used to, awak pernah siang ikan kan? Mesti awak pernah buka tulang pipi dia. Bila awak buka tulang pipi dia, awak jumpa siapa? Awak jumpa insang dia. Awak jumpa gil dia. Betul tak? So tulang pipi dia tu nama dia adalah operculum. Boleh faham? Okay, and then you should also know about buccal cavity. Ni, buccal cavity. Mana buccal cavity cikgu? Buccal cavity ni adalah ruang yang ada dekat sini. Ni yang cikgu bulatkan ni. Ruang yang ada kat sini nama dia buccal cavity. Kita tak ada buccal cavity, kita ada nasal cavity, ruang yang ada dalam rongga hidung. Tapi kalau fish ni dia ada buccal cavity. Okey. Ni kawasan sini, buccal cavity. Okey, ingat ni mouth, operculum, buccal cavity. Sebab apa cikgu emphasize dua benda ni? Sebab kita nak explain lah what happen during inhalation and exhalation. Okay, kita pergi kepada exhalation dulu. Kita pergi kepada inhalation dulu. So when the mouth open, ni bila mulut itu buka, sebab kita tahu they want to take oxygen from the water. So for sure they will use the mouth lah. Dia akan guna mulut instead of hidung. Ikan ada hidung ke? Tak ada je. Entahlah ada ke tak. Entahlah. Okay, okay, so during inhalation, firstly, the fish will open the mouth. Dia akan buka mulut dia. So bila dibuka mulut dia, apa jadi? The flow of the buccal cavity is lowered. So bila dibuka mulut dia, buccal cavity ni akan ke bawah. Benda ni akan ke bawah kan, betul tak? Buccal cavity is lowered down. So bila mulut terbuka, buccal cavity is lowered down. Okay, so apa jadi? At the same time, opercular cavity is enlarged and operculum opening is closed. So maksudnya, during inhalation, when the mouth open, okay, buccal cavity will be lowered and operculum is closed. Operculum opening is closed. Maksudnya tulang pipi dia akan tertutup. Mulut buka, buccal cavity akan ke bawah dan operculum will close. Ni awak tengok ni, operculum opening is closed. So, what happened? So this will reduce the pressure in the buccal cavity. So when the mouth open, buccal cavity is lowered and the operculum is closed, we can say that the pressure in the buccal cavity is lowered. Kawasan sini orang panggil buccal cavity. Ruang kat sini orang panggil ruang buccal cavity. So when this happen, the air pressure, bukan air pressure, the water pressure lah kot. Sebab ni kan dalam air, kenapa nak air pula? Okay, the water pressure in the buccal cavity is lower than the pressure outside. Betul tak? So what will happen? The water pressure from outside will push the water. Sebab tu air boleh masuk ke dalam mulut dia, dalam buccal cavity. Sebab apa? Pressure dalam ni lebih rendah berbanding dekat luar. So maksudnya pressure kat luar lebih besar daripada pressure dekat dalam. Boleh faham? So what will happen? The water from outside that contain dissolved oxygen enter the mouth. Boleh faham? So air yang contain oxygen tu, it can enter the mouth and it will flow to the what? To the gill and filament, lamella and so on. So the gaseous action will occur. Sadaqallahul azim. Macam tu je kan? Okay, and then for exhalation, apa pula? Exhalation, the first one, awak tukar saja. Kalau mouth open, mouth close. Flow of buccal cavity lower, dia jadi rise. Maksudnya kalau in exhalation, dia akan tutup mulut and then buccal cavity dia akan naik ke atas. Operculum akan terbuka. Sebab tadi tertutup kan? Terbuka. Ni awak tengok ni. Okay, so what will happen? Ni operculum muscle relax and upper cavity become smaller. And the volume of buccal cavity is reduced and the pressure in the buccal cavity become higher. Awak tukar saja. Okay, cikgu ulang balik. Okay, untuk exhalation, mouth dia close. And then buccal cavity rise. And then operculum terbuka. So what is the result? The result would be the water pressure in the buccal cavity increase or higher than the water pressure from outside. So this water pressure will push the water. Sebab water pressure sini lebih besar daripada luar kan. So what will happen is that the water pressure will push the water to get out. Melalui apa? Melalui operculum. Boleh faham? So kat sini kita tahu the gaseous action will happen, right? So kat sini ni awak tengok error ni. Kat sini ada carbon dioxide je lah. air yang mengandungi karbon dioksida. Kiri dan juga kanan. Itu sahaja. Tengok. The high pressure, water pressure lah, cause the water to flow through operculum opening. Boleh faham? Okay. Okay guys, so let's continue. Okay, next. Okay, we are going to study about frogs. Okay, which is the last organism. Okay, so this is frogs. Okay, so frogs ni, it has two respiratory structure. The first one is skin, and then the last one is lung. So awak tengok kat sini So they can breathe through skin and also through lung. So okay, kita pergi kepada skin dulu. So when they will use the skin to breathe, okay, during inactive state. Inactive state ni sebagai contoh, maybe during winter, for example. During winter, usually many animal will hibernate. Hibernate tu inactive lah. So the frog will use skin for gases exchange. So what is the adaptation of the skin? So pertama sekali, skin tu dia thin and highly permeable. Permeable tu maksudnya ability to allow substance to pass through it. Kat sini apply for oxygen lah and also carbon dioxide. And it also has a moist skin to allow gases exchange to dissolve it. So dia lembab, dia nipis, and sebut Cina dah, tak kisahlah. Below the skin, there are many networks of blood capillary to transport respiratory gas. So dekat bawah skin ni ada banyak blood capillary. Sebab blood capillary itulah yang carry carbon dioxide, oxygen and so on. So we can say that the gases exchange can occur easily. So oxygen can easily get into the skin and carbon dioxide can easily get out from the skin. Sebab apa ni dia ada karakteristik ni? Skin is thin and highly permeable and moist and many blood capillary under the skin. Okay, and then they also have lung. Okay, lung ni, okay, when they will use lung, okay, basically during active, yang ni active kan, during active state. Contoh ni dia nak melompat ke dan sebagainya lah. So, okay, the structure of lung is folded. This is lung. Okay, awak tengok folded tu maksudnya berlipat-lipat. Sebab apa dia berlipat-lipat? To increase the total surface area for gases exchange. So bila kita lipat-lipat ni maksudnya ada banyak ruang, okay? Ada banyak ruang yang kita boleh gunakan untuk gases exchange. Lepas tu, the thin lung membrane is the diffusion of the gases exchange. So the lung ni dia nipis lah. And then moist, dia thin and moist to enable the gases exchange dissolve in them. And then lung also has a networks blood of capillary. So banyaknya, maksudnya surrounding the lung there are a lot of blood capillary. Sebab apa? Blood capillary itulah yang bawa carbon dioxide, oksigen dan sebagainya. Okay, so that's all for the respiratory structure in the frog. So now we going to study in detail how the frog breathe. Menarik kan? Okay, kita pergi satu-satu dulu. Okay, before we want to study how the frog breathe, you should know the structure in detail. Okay, cikgu cerita dululah. Ni mouth dia. Okay, ini mulut dia. Ini adalah lubang hidung dia. Nostril, orang panggil ni. Nostril, lubang hidung. Okay, nostril. Ada 2 biji kan? Ada 2. Okay, this is nostril. Yang ni mouth. Okay, yang ni macam tadi ikan, kita belajar nama dia adalah buccal cavity. Ruang. Cavity tu maksudnya ruang ataupun space. Tapi kita guna specific names lah, iaitu cavity. Okay. So ini nama dia panjang sikit buccal pharyngeal. Panjang kan? Tak apa, insyaAllah. Awak hafal Quran boleh takkan nama ni tak boleh ingat. Okay. Nama dia apa? Nama dia buccopharyngeal cavity. Okay, so ruang yang ada kat sini, nama dia adalah buccopharyngeal cavity. Boleh faham? Floor ni maksudnya ni. Ini adalah dia punya dinding dia ni, lantai dia ni. Cavity tu ruang kat sini. Okay, floor ni maksudnya dinding lah. Okay. Okay, lepas tu kat tengah-tengah ni. Ni this is lung, okay. This is lung. Lung dia. Lepas tu glottis. Glottis ni is what we call opening. Di antara in between buccal this between bucopharyngeal cavity dan juga lung. Maksudnya kat tengah-tengah ni nama dia adalah glottis. Glottis pula dah. Sorry. Okay, lung, ini lung, ni glottis kat tengah ni. And then kat sini orang panggil bucopharyngeal cavity. Okay. Okay, that's all. Okay, jom kita tengok. Inhalation. Macam mana jadi? When the frog breathe through nostril. Yang ni dia special Macam ikan tadi, dia ambil oksigen menggunakan mulut. Dia buka mulut kan. Tapi yang ni dia guna nostril macam kita. Okay, the frog breathe through nostril. Okay, the mouth and glottis are closed. And the flow of bucopharyngeal cavity is lowered. Okay, so pertama sekali, step yang pertama, mulut tutup. Okay, mulut tutup. Flow of bucopharyngeal cavity ni dia ke bawah, lowered. And then glottis close. This will end up, okay, so bila benda jadi, apa yang terjadi? What will happen? We can say that the air pressure inside mouth cavity is okay, jap. Okay. Okay. So when we okay, sabar sekali lagi cikgu cerita Okay, yang ni orang panggil bucopharyngeal cavity ni kawasan sini. Ish. Ni mulut dia kan. Ni mouth cavity. Maksudnya ada two cavity present in the in the frog ni. Okay, kawasan sini mouth cavity. Kawasan sini bucopharyngeal cavity, ruang. Okay, ruang mulut, ruang bucopharyngeal. Boleh faham? Okay, sekali lagi Okay, so during inhalation, the mouth will close. The flow of bucopharyngeal cavity is lowered and glottis close. So what will happen is that the result is the air pressure in the mouth is lower than the pressure outside. Maksudnya tekanan udara yang kat luar ni lebih tinggi berbanding tekanan yang ada dalam mouth cavity tu. So what will happen? The air pressure will push the air inside mouth cavity. Ni awak tengok ni. Okay, the lower air pressure in the mouth draw the air into bucopharyngeal cavity through nostril. Okay, boleh faham? So ni mouth cavity, yang ni bucopharyngeal cavity. So when the air pressure from because we know that air pressure outside is higher, so air pressure will push the air to get inside bucopharyngeal cavity. Boleh faham? So and then what happen? Okay, when the nostril glottis happen. Okay, awak kena tahu here there is a limitation of gas. So bila dah penuh gas kat sini, glottis will automatically open. Takkanlah awak nak suruh masuk udara pecah macam balloon pula, tak boleh lah. So at one point so many air already get inside bucopharyngeal cavity. So this will automatically make the glottis open. Bila glottis open, nostril akan tertutup. And then the flow of bucopharyngeal cavity is rise. Dia akan naik ke atas. Untuk apa? Untuk increasekan air pressure. Supaya apa? Supaya udara daripada bucopharyngeal cavity ni ditolak pergi dekat lung. Ni lung ni. The increased air pressure push air into the lung. Ni lung. Kenapa kena pergi kat lung? Sebab lung is the place where the gaseous action will occur. Boleh faham? Siapa tak faham boleh ulang balik video cikgu ni. Okay, ingat siapa faham. Okay, exhalation tukar je lah. Okay, tak tukar pun awak tengok sini. Kalau exhalation, what will happen? The lung contract. Lung ni dia akan contract, dia akan mengecut. So what will happen? The air is expelled, okay, from the lung. Dia akan push. Okay, this is helped by abdominal pressure and elasticity of the lung. So maksudnya kat sini, okay, lung tu dia akan contract, dia akan push, okay, air, specifically carbon dioxide lah, akan keluar melalui mana? Melalui nostril. Okay, some air is expelled through nostril while the rest is mixed with the air in a buccal-laryngeal cavity. So kat sini lah. Basically, it will nostril ni terbuka kan, dia terkeluar kat sini lah. Okay. Okay guys, so I think we have done for insect, for fish, frogs. Okay, now we are going to study in detail about the comparison. Ni awak tengok ni. Okay, yang ni okay, kita panggil apa? Revision sikit lah pasal human ni. Okay, so human, we know that the gases exchange will happen in alveolus. Okay, alveolus dengan alveolar ni benda yang sama lah. Okay, so what is the adaptation of our alveolus to do respiratory system? Okay, pertama sekali awak tengok. Okay, our alveolus, okay, present in a large number. Dia ada banyak. Okay, ada satu je ke? Ada banyak ni kan? Ni, awak tengok satu, dua, beribu-ribu lah. Kenapa kena ada banyak? Untuk provide a large total surface area for diffusion of respiratory gas. Maksudnya, when we have so many alveolus, it means that more gases exchange can happen. Lepas tu, alveolus wall is always moist. Mesti kering. Mesti lembab lah, moist. So what? So the oxygen and carbon dioxide can dissolve easily and diffuse through the wall into the blood capillary. Sebab itulah kita tak boleh merokok. Daripada awak isap rokok tu, berhenti-berhentilah. Selain pada rokok sebenarnya, vape pun dia akan menyebabkan our alveolus become dry. Okay, so bertaubatlah ya. Okay, lepas tu apa? The alveolus is surrounded by large networks of blood capillary. Ni awak tengok ni. Ni blood capillary ni. Okay, so alveolus is surrounded by many blood capillary. Why? To hasten, okay, the diffusion of respiratory gas. Sebab kita tahu alveoli dia akan bagi oksigen dekat blood capillary. Blood capillary akan bagi carbon dioxide and vice versa. And then it has thin wall. Dia nipis. Okay, so senipis iman awak tu lah. Okay, why? To make the diffusion gas much easier and faster. So kalau dia nipis, cepatlah gas boleh bergerak. Okay, now we are going to study what is the different and similarity, okay, comparison between human and animal. Inilah animal yang kita nak bincang ni adalah insect, fish dan juga frogs. Similarity dia, okay, kita pergi satu-satu lah. Kita besarkan sikit. Okay, all respiratory structure have a large ratio of total surface area to the volume for efficient exchange respiratory. Okay. Lepas tu, ingat, kalau similarity, awak mesti mention all. Selalunya similarity kita buat 2 je kan. Tapi ni kita nak compare lebih daripada 2, iaitu 4. So kita guna perkataan all lah. Okay, so dia cakap all respiratory structure are thin and this will make the diffusion respiratory gas become faster. Ni senang sangat ni. All respiratory structure are moist and this allow the respiratory gas to dissolve in them. All respiratory structure is complex with networks of blood capillary except insect. Maksudnya semua ni dia melibatkan networks of blood capillary kecuali insect. Okay, that allow the efficient transport of respiratory gas. Okay, yang ni cikgu rasa boleh faham lah. Okay, so ni perbezaan dia. Yang pertama sekali in term of respiratory structure. So insect ni, okay, the gases exchange will occur in tracheole. Ingat lagi tak tracheole? Kalau tak ingat boleh rewind video cikgu. Kalau fish kat mana? Filament and lamella. Kalau frog, skin and lung. Tapi kalau human dekat alveolus. Okay, how the large ratio of total surface area to the volume for respiratory structure is achieved? So yang ni dia ada banyak. Okay, the tracheal is present in a large number. Yang ni dia ada large number of filament and lamella. So yang ni dia ada lung, okay, dan dia juga ada skin untuk help them to breathe. And this one, it has large number of alveoli. Okay, tengok apa lagi yang tak bincang. Okay, yang ni kita dah belajar dah dulu. Okay guys, so I think that's all for our class. So the next slide is about urine production. Okay, so let me finish. Okay guys, so yesterday we learned that nephron is a kidney cell that contain 6 different things, which are Bowman capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, collecting duct, and the last one glomerulus. Okay, so I just want to make some revision. So basically all this nephron, okay, we can find in between cortex and medulla. So the location you can find here, okay. So this is 1 unit of nephron. Okay guys, so yesterday also we have learned how to draw 1 unit of nephron. So 1 unit of nephron should consist of 6 different things. So right now we are going to study in detail what will happen in all place. Okay, so now we go for glomerulus first. Okay, here. Okay, glomerulus. Okay, so basically you have to know that glomerulus is a bundle of blood capillary that is connected from afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Okay, so this is 1 unit of nephron, and if we make it bigger, we can see this kind of picture. Okay, so this is glomerulus, and it is connected by afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Okay, so as you notice here, it say the words wide, and here it used the words narrow. Okay, so we can say that the blood will flow from afferent arteriole to efferent arteriole, where the blood vessel is getting narrower. Okay, from wide to narrow. Okay, so when this happens, this actually can create a high hydrostatic pressure. Okay, so this will create a higher hydrostatic pressure that will push, a small thing, okay, from glomerulus to the Bowman capsule. Okay, here. Okay, so that process is called as ultrafiltration, where we know that it involves in glomerulus and Bowman capsule. So, okay, here as I mentioned just now, the blood flow from wide afferent arteriole to narrow efferent arteriole, where the blood capillary is getting narrower. So as the result, this will increase, or this will create a high hydrostatic pressure that will push the small substance from glomerulus to the Bowman capsule. Okay, so this is what I have taught you just now here. Okay, so that process is known as ultrafiltration. Okay, so this is the note for you. I hope you guys can copy this one. Okay, so basically, if you notice, it say that many small components of the blood are filtered out from glomerulus to the Bowman capsule. Okay, so the example of small substance that will be filtered out, okay, from glomerulus to the Bowman capsule. For example, water, urea, glucose, fatty acid, glycerol, and so on. Why? Because they are small in size. But for example, blood cell, protein, plasma membrane, it will remain in the glomerulus because they are large in size. Okay, so they will not be filtered out. Instead, they will remain in the glomerulus. And once the small, the small component is filtered from glomerulus to the Bowman capsule, it is now we can call them as a glomerular filtrate. Okay, glomerular filtrate. So this is the example of the small substance that will be filtered from glomerulus and get into the Bowman capsule. Okay, why they get filtered out? Because they are small in size. So once they get into the Bowman capsule, we call them as a glomerular filtrate. Okay, and this process is known as a ultrafiltration. Okay, guys. So moving forward, okay, now we have done in glomerulus and Bowman capsule. Now this glomerular filtrate, it will go to the proximal convoluted tubule. Here, okay, this is Bowman capsule. This is glomerulus. Glomerulus, okay. So the glomerular filtrate will go from Bowman capsule to the next destination, which is distal convoluted tubule. And the next process is known as a reabsorption. Okay, so let's go in detail. Okay, so it takes place in a proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle. This one is loop of Henle, okay, not loop of hole. This is other hole. I don't know what hole it is. Okay, so this process reabsorption will take place in proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and the last one, collecting duct. Okay, I know you guys remember, right? So here is proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, this is loop of Henle. This is distal convoluted tubule, and the last one we have collecting duct. Here we know the process happen is ultrafiltration. Okay, other than that, okay, the process involved is reabsorption. Okay, now we are going to study in detail what reabsorption means. Okay, so reabsorption is a process to transfer the useful component from glomerular filtrate such as glucose, salt and water to the blood capillary in the kidney. Okay, because we know that inside glomerular filtrate, okay, there are a lot of things. For example, is what? Water, urea, glucose, amino acid, salt. Okay, but as we know that all these things are useful, so that's why we need to reabsorb them. Otherwise, they will be eliminated as a urine. So that's why reabsorption is very important. Okay, after all, only one thing will present in the urine, which is urea, because urea is a waste product. Okay, so all of these need to be reabsorbed. Why? Because they are useful to our body. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so reabsorption. The first one, okay, so this is glomerulus, this is Bowman capsule. Now, glomerular filtrate will go to the proximal convoluted tubule. And these are the substance that will be reabsorbed. From where to where? From kidney to the blood capillary. So here, there are a lot of blood capillary present. Why? Because all these useful substance will be reabsorbed. Okay, so for example, the first one, water. So water will be reabsorbed from proximal convoluted tubule to the blood capillary by osmosis. Okay, remember anything that involve water, the process is called osmosis. While the glucose, amino acid, vitamin, and some salt will be reabsorbed back by active transport. Okay, so this is the name of the process and this is the substance that will be reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, the next one. Okay, as I said, the same process will occur in loop of Henle. Okay, but here, loop of Henle, only 20% of water will be reabsorbed. Okay, and this is done by osmosis. Okay, and then the other side of loop of Henle, there will be some salt will be reabsorbed, and that process is known as a active transport. Okay, so it's the same process but different substance will be reabsorbed. Okay, and then the next one is reabsorption at distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so here the same thing that will be absorbed, which are water by osmosis and salt by active transport. Okay, so here it depends on the concentration of water and salt in the blood. Okay, so for distal convoluted tubule, it is very special. Okay, so before reabsorption happen in distal convoluted tubule, our body will detect. Okay, our body will detect the content of H2O and also salt in our blood. For example, okay, for example, if our body has higher water content, so it means that water will be less reabsorbed. Okay, for example, if you drink a lot of water, for sure your water content in the body become more. So here it means that the water will be less reabsorbed. Okay, so vice versa for salt. Okay. Okay, and then the last process that will happen in the kidney is called secretion. Okay, so the first one, the waste product are removed from blood capillary to a distal convoluted tubule. So as I said here, even though in the picture there are no blood capillary shown, but just imagine that here there are a lot of blood capillary. Okay, here they just show a nephron. Okay, bear in mind, surrounding the nephron, there are a lot of blood capillary. So because we know that some of the waste product are still present in the blood capillary. So here, secretion will also happen. Okay, remember for distal convoluted tubule, there are two processes happen. The first one reabsorption, the next one is secretion. So secretion where the waste product, for example, urea from blood capillary will be taken from blood capillary to the distal convoluted tubule here. Okay, so the secretion involves simple diffusion. For example, drug and toxic substance. For example, if someone take the drugs and the drug will be reabsorbed, okay, to the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, but if there is a ion or ammonium, it will be taken from blood capillary to the distal convoluted tubule by active transport. Okay, and after that what's left is just urine. So you see here, so when all of the useful substance is reabsorbed, so what's left is just urine. So this is collecting duct. The collecting duct function is to deliver the urine. Now when it present here, everything's left here, we call them as a urine. So the urine, okay, will be transferred to the ureter. You guys remember ureter, right? So from ureter, either vagina or in the penis. Okay, so will be excreted out. Okay. Okay, so after that, what's left is just urine. Okay, so here this is the general knowledge about urine. So basically, urine, the color is clear, or urine is clear, and the color is pale to a deep yellow, and the pH is acidic. Okay. So you don't have to try yourself, okay, to put litmus paper or whatever. So right now it's proven that inside urine it is acidic. Okay, and then this is the component inside the urine. Okay, so most of the substance present in the urine is water. Obviously, because I nama lagi air kencing kan, takkan keluar udara. Okay, and then this is the waste product, for example, urea, uric acid, and so on. And the last one is salt. Okay, salt depending on the concentration of salt. If it is too much, then it will be excreted through the urine. Okay, so this is the other picture about the urine. So you can see here. Okay, urea. Okay, chloride, ion. Okay, these are the excessive ion. Okay, that will be secreted through the urine. Okay, so all of these, most of them contain water. Okay, guys, so I think that's all for our class today. So I hope you guys can understand. So those who don't understand, you can PM me. So I will upload this video to the YouTube. So please write down your name and class on the section below for me to take an attendance. Okay. So don't forget to complete your task. Okay, I need you to draw this nephron, and then please draw and label them, and then put okay the characteristic and also the function and also the process okay happen in each place. Okay, guys, so I think that's all for today. So I hope we can see again on the next class. Okay, assalamualaikum.